What do I want to be playing? Do. Howdy, y'all. It is Friday once again. Welcome to the Friday jaw harp practice. If you're new to the Friday night jaw harp practice, feel free to chime in with questions. If you have experiences of your own to share about the harp, feel free to chime in. We are live, coming from Kansas. Gonna be doing some jaw harp playing. Hey, Josh Putnam is on point. What are you doing, dude? How's things where you're at? It is hot here in Kansas. I got 97 degrees today. More Mr. Banjo, what's up? It is hot here in Kansas. I just got back, turned the air conditioner on for a little bit, got it killed. Now it's hot in the garage. We have the eternal summer. Gonna be doing a little bit of playing tonight, and then going over to a friend's house, gonna be doing a little bit more playing. Then I'm gonna be editing together a tutorial, a big tutorial on my current jaw harp making techniques. Mr. Banjo is back. Josh Putnam says, yeah. And actually, I have the harp available for that build. Mr. J got a hold of me on Facebook. He wanted a harp built just for him, engraved with my name, signed, all that, with a full tutorial. And I went ahead and made that. Can't get a hold of him. So if anybody's looking for a B1, got this one. It is low and it is buttery. And this is not going to be a commercial to sell harps. I will be selling harps more going into the fall. Going to be setting up either a website or maybe even a Facebook account, a shop for selling harps. I'm going to have a lot of gnarly makers getting harps from them, especially before Christmas. But anyways, going to play a little bit on this bass. And tomorrow I'm going to have a full tutorial out. I'll probably do half of it on Saturday, half of it on Sunday. It's going to be, I got probably 2 hours worth of footage that I'm going to have to edit down some way, but not really new techniques. What is the highest pitched harp that I own? That is a good question. It'd probably be one of these Morchang. I don't know what note it falls near. I've got a whole bunch of Rekha Haram or Rek Haram Morchang, and they're very, very stiff. Some of them are very loud and they're high pitched. And it seems like, I don't know if it's all in my head, it seems like once the Morchang warms up a little bit, did you hear how it wasn't quite as loud, then it started to scream? And I don't know if it's me finding the harmonics for it, or if it's just getting warm, but yeah, about 10 seconds into playing the Morchang, they do get louder. Hear that right there? I don't know if it's me finding the tone, but it definitely, there was an uptake in sound. And I don't know what note that would even fall near. Let's see if I have another higher pitched harp. Let's see, the Mohan Law. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I am a chronic mispronunciator of words. The Mohan Law, the Mohan. And it is picky. And I always get some clicking out of that. My technique isn't good enough. And I think I got some mustache hairs that are going into the paper thin gaps of this harp. What's another? Asked about the highest harps I have. Tartar Standard's a little high. Then somewhere in here, I got a Salagi Blackfire in high A. I believe that's referred to as an A3. But as far as like a harp that's super, super high pitch, I really don't have any of those. I have heard that some of the Schluters get really, really up there into the high pitched harps. My lowest harp would of course be a Titan. And then another super low, and I have three bass, really bassy harps. The Baikal, and then I've got a Blackfire in low E, and it's very, very clicky. Getting a lot of clicks out of that. I think I need to do a little bit of adjustment. It's too close on the bottom side. And I did a little bit of adjustment. I should do a tutorial video up and coming here. I adjusted my prototype mid-range, the one I played probably the most often. I adjusted them gaps down very, very, very tight. It's probably the tightest I've ever had them without clicking. I'm getting better at adjusting harps on my Vise. Mr. Banjo said the Transformers called. They want their harps back. Oh, yeah, the Baikal is a little bit robotic. Diego Strujek says, hello from Brazil. Hey, hello from Kansas, dude. How is it in Brazil? It is hot here in Kansas. I think it was like 97 degrees Fahrenheit today. How is it in Brazil? Coincidentally, I did a little bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu today. I'm not going to class. Gonna do some jaw harp jamming and whatnot. Had a friend come over. We did some rolling in the backyard. So that's about all the taste of Brazil I've had. But yeah, the Baikal, it's in lowest F. It is a little bit robotic. And it's a little bit quieter compared to some of the other, like here's a Titan. Titan's a little bit pickier even than the Baikal in technique. I used to get mad clicks all the time with this. And Porky Miller, he was telling me, he's like, give it some time, give it a couple months play, give it hours and hours worth of play, and the clicking will go down on it. So as the Baikal, as you play it more, really a whole lot less clicking. So if you've got a Baikal and you get a lot of clicks out of it, keep playing it. Your technique will get better, and the reed will find its way. It'll start vibrating a little bit more true. Because looking at the embouchure length of this, it is tight the entire length down there. So that reed's really got to get used to things. And oh yeah, I was talking about how I tightened up the gaps on my mid-range. And I can't tell if the 3-pattern bends, if they gradually spread out over time. I know Oberton Pro says about the Tartars, and this hasn't happened to my Tartars yet, it says that over time the gaps may spread out a little bit and you may have to adjust them. Luckily I have a Vise and I can do that. I wonder if that didn't happen with this mid-range a little bit, because I've adjusted it a couple times and this time I got it very, very tight. And now she's screaming loud. I've noticed all my harps that I can get really loud, or even harps that I buy that are really loud, bassy harps tend to be not quite as loud. Like here's the Titan. It's loud, but it's not screaming loud like most Sloggies are screaming loud. His bass, his low E, it still doesn't scream. By calls, they don't scream. So I'm wondering, do most bass harps, is it not possible to make the one that's like screaming loud, like some of your mid-range? My bass here, it's loud, but it's not loud. It's pretty fun to play. I get less clicks out of it. I could make it a little bit louder if I tighten up the gaps a little bit more, but I'm like, I don't want to get clicks out of it. When you get down to that bassiness, it's so easy to have a harp that clicks, and clicking, it upsets me. I like to, even in a bass harp, I like to be able to hammer a little bit. I'm hammering on the outstroke. So it is important to me as I start building more bassy harps to still make a harp that can kind of move quickly. I'm going to eventually get into making deep bass harps, but not yet. Not until I can figure out a way to make a deep bass harp that you can still move quickly. And I don't know if there is a way, because a lot of your bassy harps, like every bassy harp I've gotten, you can't really hammer on them like you can a mid-range. But I got these pear-shaped harps. Gonna be doing another record. Salutations from Louisiana. Is that what LA is? Or maybe from Los Angeles. Salutations, dude. How is you doing? It is hot here in Kansas. Just playing some harps. Got the air. Los Angeles. Yeah, how's the weather out there in Los Angeles? Here in Kansas, it's hot. It was like 97 degrees today. Got the air conditioner shut off here in the garage so we can hear it. And here pretty soon, I'm gonna have a pretty big weekend for videos. Got a big jaw harp tutorial, hour or two's worth of footage. I'm gonna try to edit it down. It's gonna be coming out in maybe 8, 10, 12 parts, trickling out over the weekend. And this is the actual harp from that build. And where was I going with that? I don't know. Oh yeah, up and coming here in the weeks to come. There may be some weekends where there's not videos. Bought a house, gonna be moving, not having to move very far, but got a bigger shop where I'm gonna be building harps, making videos. And Ishan Shaw says, pretty cloudy and cool. The Santa Ana winds are blowing. Almost made me drop my harp off the balcony. Oh no, don't drop your harp, dude. And hopefully if you drop your harp, I hope it's not your favorite harp, but if you're out playing on the balcony, it probably is your favorite harp. And what is your favorite harp? What harp did you about drop? I've had some problems with harps. I've kept them in my pocket before, bent them, had to bend them back. Gonna have upcoming tutorials on how to rebend a harp. Once my friend Josh brings his Salagi Chancellor, he liked to put it in his pocket before you go into bars and drink and then play harps with people. Pocket is not a good place for your harp. He says, I only have one so far, the Pavel Pokin. Hey, dude. Harp on a budget. A Pavel Pokin is a decent harp. I'll do some playing on the Pokin, and I'm not giving thought to getting some more Pokins and sharpening them up, maybe making them louder, but they're already pretty louder. And I've thought about bending the knee bend in at a 90 and seeing how it fares. Nothing at all wrong with little Pavel Pokins. For some people, like if they're for the elderly, if you have arthritis, it might be difficult to hold this harp. But man, the Pavel Pokin, for bang for the buck, for like $7 to $10 straight out of Russia, it's hard to beat the Pokin. But this is the only well, I bought several Pokins as gifts for friends. This was my first Pokin. I'm not going to do any adjustment to it, but I might get another Pokin, do some adjustment to it, do some playing around, maybe tighten up the gaps a little bit. The gaps are very decently tight on the Pokin. I think the extraneous overtones come from this knee bend being out at an angle, but maybe that's part of the appeal. It's Kind of getting that hillbilly breathing, and that's about the best explanation I've come up for. You see my my napkin. I've been wiping all my harps down, and it's almost dead. It's almost wore through. Get a lot of life out of these napkins, but where was I going? Oh yeah, extraneous overtones come from a knee bend being out at an angle there. So for my next poking, I might bend it up in a 90, play around with it. But this one, I'm just going to leave this one the way it is. And we having a jaw harp ramble is what's going on here. All you out there, what harps are you playing? Play a little bit on a wooden harp. Corendings and home tongues are not very loud, but they are pretty soothing to play. It's almost like a bamboo Dan Moy. The humidity might be warping. Oh, I got a little bit rubbing in that corner. I'm probably gonna have to take a razor blade and just trim that off. You hear that furriness? That's that little splinter that's rubbing. And eventually, I know they're gonna break, but I haven't played on them a ton. Probably 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, if even that. And they still haven't broke yet, so I'm impressed with the durability of bamboo. A lot of my cooking utensils are made out of bamboo too. I was hammering on that pretty hard. I wonder, put this through the paces, see if a corending will break. Still pretty durable. Oh, it is getting. XY Smiles says, play me something fun. I'm turning 18 tomorrow. Hey, happy birthday, XY Smiles. Let's see. I'm gonna play something loud if I can find it. I got so many harps down here on the table. Yeah, Ishan Shaw says, happy birthday. Happy birthday, dude. You came to the right place. You came to the Friday night jaw harp practice. Here we got. And I had a good week at work too. That's a benefit all there. Here we have Masco average in D sharp. We're going to get loud. I'm going to scoot back a bit because it's loud. I don't know if I could play Happy Birthday on a jaw harp. I can't even remember how Happy Birthday goes. I don't know if that's possible on a jaw harp. But anyways, XY Smiles, happy birthday, dude. 18, that's a wonderful age to be turning. Enjoy it. Enjoy the exuberance of youth. And over time, you're going to get older, but never let yourself get to the mindset that you're old. Because you're always going to get older, but don't let yourself become old. Thanks, that was awesome. Oh, thank you, dude. I'll play one more. What do we got here? Got a Mun harp from Zvitowski. I got some Zvitowski harps that are hopefully going to be coming in here in a month, probably a couple months. I'm starting to import more harps. Someday, I would like to get away from heating and air. Well, my job that I do for a living, my main job is heating and air work. I'm a lead installer at an HVAC company, doing furnaces, air conditioners. Been doing that for a while. Not really learning anything anymore. He says, what the? Oh, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start importing harps, and I'm hopefully going to be able to set up a website or Facebook thing and be selling harps and be making harps. And I would just love for my job to be nothing but the harps, because YouTube doesn't really pay that well. Making jaw harps, I can't, in my free time, I can't cram enough harps into them. So hopefully someday I can do nothing but the jaw harp. That is my dream. And maybe someday I can do it. Now, this is Vitowski Munharp in D. Oh, that harp looks weird. This is a Munhapa. It's in the Norwegian style. It's made by Vitowski from... Oh, you got to check out this trigger here if I can get it to focus in on it. It is gnarly. Yeah, it's a forged harp. It's in the Norwegian style. And instead of a crimp or screws, it's held in with a wedge. And they're springy and they're breathy and they're very... They play a little bit different than some other harps, and you'll hear it in the sound. A little bit of that breath, a little bit of that Morchang type spring to it. This is a Norwegian style made by Vitowski, good maker from Ukraine. And I'm going to be getting a couple of these in, a couple of his harps that take magnetic balls, so you get two tones out of them, and a whole mess of just his harps. And anyways. This one's in D. And I love playing the Munharp because it has the timbre. If you're familiar with the word timbre, spelled T-I-M-B-R-E. Timbre is like the flavor of the note. Like, let's find a D, another harp in D if I can. Like, here's a Salagi Blackfire. It's crackly, almost sounds like a locust or a cicada singing. Whereas this one has a different timbre, a different flavor to the harp. And whenever I play the Munharp, it reminds me of a place that's like really, really cold. And I believe in Norway, it probably gets cold. I don't know if it gets as cold anywhere as it used to, because like here in Kansas, we have 8-9 months of summer now in the past couple of years. But I love the Munharp, the twinge it's got to it. Shouldn't have drank caffeine this evening. I'm getting lots of clicks, but I've got the added advantage of lots of energy. Caffeine sensitivity runs in the family, and I take advantage of it. I drink caffeine mainly on the weekends, sometimes on Fridays. And I do love the trigger on this harp. This has a slightly recurved trigger, very, very dainty. Very petite trigger, but lots of spring. So it's nice to have a harp that really has some snap, really has some pop to it, almost like a Morchang, but you got that breathiness of a European harp. And it has a really rustic forged look to it. It's cleaned up on the edges, and he sent me pictures of his new Munharp, and they look slick. They have the tuning stamped right on the front, and I'm excited to get them in. I'm excited to get. I got some other very gnarly harps coming in before the holidays. It's gonna be a harping good time. And if you're in the United States, I don't mean to turn this into a commercial, but I am starting to sell some more harps. If you're in the United States, you're looking for really cool jaw harps, available with fast, cheap shipping at competitive price. Get a hold of me. Shoot me a message on Facebook. My name is Jamie Bebb. You'll find me on Facebook. We also have our group, the North American Jaw Harpist, on Facebook. Porky Miller, Nico Cornelius, Jerry Crisp, Waylon Harmon, Neptune Chapone's all members of that. Gnarly site, gnarly page. Where was I going with this? I just kind of rambled off. So get a hold of me on Facebook over Messenger, or get a hold of me on my Gmail account, on my email account on Gmail. It's BebbCorp, spelled BebbCorp 1 Yeah, you can see the sweat starting to form on my forehead. It's starting to get hot here. I need to turn the air conditioner back on. It's warming up. But yeah, right after this, heading over to a friend's house, grabbing a bag full of harps. We're going to be doing some harping. Now I'm excited about the upcoming move, moving into a new house. And it's going to kind of affect, I'm not going to be making as many videos for a while because I'm going to be moving a whole bunch of stuff. And then here in January, the new Bebb is coming to the family, Mr. Donovan Sawyer Bebb. I'm so excited to be a dad. It's going to be gnarly. I've been playing the harp. My wife will lay down and I'll play harps in front of her belly and talk to him. And it's been gnarly. And when I was playing this, my bass harp, he started moving around and kicking. And I was so thrilled. I'm like, yeah, maybe my kid's going to be a harpist. Maybe not. Maybe. I think the past couple videos I played pretty much the same rotation of harps. Let's get out and play a harp. I haven't played in a while. One thing that I've noticed, the harps that you play every single day seem to play better. They get used to, the reeds get used to flexing all the time. You have a harp that you haven't picked up in a couple weeks or a month, which is easy to do if you have the growing collection that I do. Sometimes the reeds don't flex as well. So if you pick up a harp you haven't played in a while, you're getting some clicks out of it. Don't get frustrated with it. Look at the gaps, make sure your gaps are still good, that it didn't get bent. Then continue playing it. Those clicks seem to go away. It's kind of like, oh, I just spilled water on myself. It's kind of like warming up a car. Harp needs to be played. Harps need a little bit of loving. It's a Glaser and Rainbow. The couple of Glasers I have this one, the Rainbow, a Star, have a Phantom, and then a Compass, and I'm going to be getting a whole bunch more in, hopefully here up and coming. Some really weird ones like the Duet that has 2 reeds on it where you can hit the 2 reeds independently or at the same time. Got lots of harping coming for the fall. Somebody earlier commented that the Bacall sounds like a robot. I think more than anything, though, a flat-fronted harp, and the only flat-fronted harps I've ever played are the Glaserans. They're flat on the front and milled down on the back. They all sound robotic in a totally good way. Oh, go on, dry. Sweating, coughing, just cooking out here in the garage. And you hear that? I'm going into my throat. I'm playing with my throat open. But you can't do that forever because you can't breathe, so you got to sneak in them breaths. I'm slowly drawing in for a while, then I'm holding my breath. And I'm flexing the back of my tongue to get that I'm going to call it undulation. I don't know if that's the right word, but Sarah Honeycutt says, what advice would you give to a beginner who knows the basics but wants to advance? First question, what harp are you playing on? If you're a beginner and you're playing on a beginner's harp, especially if it's more in the the toy range, like an alto Austrian or a Snoopy harp or something, there's only going to be so much that you can do to advance on that harp. Like here's a Hobby Lobby mouth harp, close relative of the Snoopy harp. I'm doing some pretty advanced stuff on it, but you can't hear it because the harp doesn't give you any feedback because the gaps aren't tight enough. I suggest maybe after you've gotten bored with the harp, move on to a better, beefier harp. Even if you get like a Slovak, which is a beginner harp. You can do some advanced technique on it, but there just isn't enough meat. There isn't that back pressure to work with. Sarah Honeycutt, what do you like to? What are techniques that you like to do on the harp? And everybody is different on the harp. Your personality really comes out in the harp. Jonah says, "Do you know anything about harps made in England? I got a pretty nice antique harp, but I don't know anything." Some of the English harps, I think were pretty decent. Then J.R. Smiths were originally made in England. I have one made in the U.S. here, about 100 years old. Does not play well. But no, I don't know much about all the harps made in England. I know a lot of the cast harps were stamped England, and they can be anywhere. It's like the J.R. Smiths. I paid a lot of money for this harp because it's hard to find a 100-year-old harp that plays. It's kind of beat up. I don't think this was ever an awesome playing harp, and I just want to leave it in its original form. I don't want to do some bending around on it and break it because it's a piece of history. This is a 100-year-old harp, and this harp probably played decent at times. Just like some of the J.R. Smiths I hear, they never played good. Then some of them played good, and then there are a few choice ones out there that just played excellent. I think those harps from England are probably about the same. It's kind of a grab bag. Some of them play poorly, like this one, which has been abused. Some of them play good, and some of them, there's a few choice gems out there that really play excellent. But I see them all the time on eBay, the made in England harps. So if you have a made in England harp, I'd be interested. If you posted a video of yourself playing it on your page after the live video ends, go ahead and write a comment saying your channel, and I'll go to your channel and watch it. Don't put a link to your Don't put a link to your video because YouTube will flag it as spam, and then I may not see it that way. Because a lot of people, now that my channel's growing, I've noticed there's a lot of people out there who will like, oh, watch this video of mine or blah, 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 use this song for my thing. And it's just people spamming me. But definitely write down the name of your channel. I'll go check it out because I'm interested. I've never played one of those England harps. So it'd be cool to do some playing around on an antique harp like that. And yeah, they probably range in quality, I'm betting. But yeah, I should. Where are you at? My antique harp. I don't even know where I said it. It's hard to see where stuff's at. There's so many harps on the table, and there's clear to the front of the table. There's harps, so it's hard to see what harps are where. Oh, there it is. Yeah, maybe it played good at one point in time, but I'm just tickled to death to have a 100-year-old harp. And I haven't fact-checked that it is 100 years old because I know that the J.R. Smiths were originally made in England. When they came over here to the United States, they were made in the United States. The gaps on them aren't bad. It's just the alignment. The reed has been so beat up. I imagine this harp was played for years and years and years outward and eventually bent it. I'm like, I really don't want to break the reed on a 100-year-old harp. I can absolutely restore this harp, put a different reed in there. But I'm like, I want to keep this harp a piece of history. What else can we play? Oh yeah, the clackamore, the clicker. Not as good on it as I should be because I should spend more time playing it. But my life is quickly getting more hectic and my free time is shrinking. And move coming up, baby coming up, the free time's going to shrink even more. And if anybody out there wants a harp that's easy to draw start, these Morchang by Gorka are super easy. Out of every harp that I own, this is the easiest to draw start, and they come, the reed is curled up at the end, so it makes it easy to start. And the Gorkas, they're like the Rekhorams. You can get a little bit of breath out of them, so it's nice to have a Morchang where you can get a little bit of breath out of. The Mohan, which is an absolute work of art. I would not rate it as quite breathy. I guess it is a little bit breathy, but it's hard to get it bouncing and hard to get it breathing. But absolute work of art, absolutely fine Morchang, but it's clicky for me, especially having long mustache hairs. They'll get caught in it. I think there comes a point at a harp, and I've noticed this in making harps, that you can only go so tight before the harp gets really picky, and any slight variation in vibration you'll get some clicks out of it. So, and you'll find that more in bassy harps and the super tight Morchang. That's one thing I do like about the Rekhorams. They're really affordable, and they're not clicky. They're not picky. You can hammer on a Morchang. These Rekhorams, I can play them outward, and most Morchang you cannot play outward. Now there is a little bit, it's not going to be quite as loud, and you'll find a lot of harps from a lot of different makers aren't going to be quite as loud played outward, because the reed just doesn't flex the same when you hit it going outward. And this is my favorite Morchang by far, this Rekhoram. This one right here, the Rhombus. A little bit of breath, fast play, and it's not so overly stiff. And I'm going to be getting some more of these that aren't super stiff. It's not overly stiff. And some of the ones, I ordered an Afghan pattern from Rekhoram, and it was extremely stiff. The stiffest harp I've ever played, but it was the loudest harp I've ever played as well. So there's something goes to say, if you have tight gaps and a super stiff reed, sometimes that makes for a really loud harp. Kind of like when you get really bassy, they start getting quieter. And I don't have that example. I don't have the Afghan. Somebody bought it. I shipped it out a couple weeks ago, right after I first got it. And there's this one. This one reminds me of like a old school American pattern, kind of, but it's in a Morchang. And the Rekhorams, they do come a little bit rougher. I did some filing on it. I took a stone and went over the edges. There were some sharper edges or rougher edges left from the forging. Wonder if this one, if I can get it playing outward. Not quite as loud, but it's nice to find some Morchang that'll play well outward. We're going on 38 minutes. I was going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. I was going to go over to a friend's house, play some harps. I'm going to play one more harp, then we going to be done. And to get that, I'm pushing the tongue to the roof of my mouth, and instead of pushing it at the front, I'm taking the tip of my tongue, I'm curling it, and putting it toward the back of my mouth, and then I'm flicking it forward. You got to kind of hold it there for a second. There it is. There you heard a slapping noise. That was my tongue. I was actually slapping it up against the reed by accident. Up to the top, near the back, and bring it down forward. If your tongue looked like this would be your palate. Bring the tongue up. Normally, a lot of times, we'll be pressing our tongue to the front of our palate, curling it back, and then bringing it back forward. Is that donut? Yeah. Well, that is going to be it for the Friday night jaw harp practice. Thanks to everyone who stopped by. Thanks to everyone who commented. Always be harping. Always be good to each other. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Blah, 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 blah. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more harpery. Harp out. Mr. Banjo says bye. Boom.